Sharonda, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good, and yourself?
I'm fine, thank you.
So first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I truly, truly appreciate it. Um, so,
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you wanting to talk to me.
of
Thank
course, do you know who you are? Okay, just aspire and
you.
honor all of us. Okay. So the
Thank you.
the first question I wanted to ask you is one of the things that I've loved watching your career over the years is how different the characters are that you portray, and how your characters really help not only inspire but help want you to kind of change the world. And so I wanted to know how intentional it is for the roles that you choose, and also too how those roles kind of align with things that are happening in the current social climate.
Right. I think early in my career, my intention in pursuing this line of work, came from an innate desire to sort of just impact the world the way that I was being impacted as a young person. And so as I, sort of absorbed different forms of media, whether it was television or film or music, theater, um, I remember the things that sort of hit me in a place that shifted me a little bit. And I think that was my initial attraction to wanting to do this work, but I couldn't yet articulate what it was that I wanted to do with it. And I remember after shooting my very first feature film, which was Assault on Precinct 13, the publicist for the film was a woman by the name of Ava DuVernay, which we all know today as a director and a powerhouse, a content distributor and an amazing woman. And so, I was talking to Ava after shooting the film, doing a publicity run, and she asked this question: "What do you want your career to say?" And I didn't have the answer in the moment, and so she sent me home with sort of homework to do, And I remember going to my journal and trying to figure out what it was that I wanted the body of my work to say, and I just kind of searched how the things that I watched growing up made me feel, and what I wanted to do with that. And so I came up with this idea that over the course of my career, I want the canon of my work to explore and explore sensuality, sexuality. I wanted to expose injustice. I wanted to inspire young people, and I wanted to pay homage to my ancestors and my culture. And so all of the projects that I choose, all of the work that I do, all of the roles that I do, in some way falls under that banner for me, or some way the script or the story resonates for me in that place and speaks to one of those things. So I think that that's what you might be seeing, because I think innately once I read a thing or and given the opportunity to do a project, I sort of look at that thing and I'm like, aha, this is the thing that makes me feel a thing. It makes me jump inside, And so I fortunately get to now look over the different roles that I've done, and for a while, I actually thought that I was doing the same thing. I was like, oh my God, what's my career? I'm doing the same thing over and over. And so someone had to slap me and be like, you're not.
Right.
And I looked at it and I was like, oh, you know what? There is some diversity here, and I think that Godzilla definitely continues in that vein in terms of diversifying my career, because you don't think that I'm going to go from, leading people to freedom and underground as Harriet Tubman to then doing a big blockbuster movie like Godzilla, But then you think about it in terms of like the role of Colonel Diane Foster, and realize that she's special, in the fabric of this picture, She stands out, and she represents something that doesn't exist in the world yet, which is a woman who's serving as a Green Beret Special Forces officer. That doesn't exist yet, and so the possibility of that is something that I represent on the big screen, and I'm honored to do so for women, for young Black women, for just across the board. So I was excited about that opportunity.
And I think it's so important, looking at the roles that you've played, that even for your role in Godzilla, you wouldn't expect not only, a woman, to be portraying this colonel, but also to a black woman. And even as I think
Right.
back to your role in Shots Fired as portraying a pastor, but a black woman as a pastor, which we don't see much of, especially, on TV, and also too in film. So tell us a little bit about your character in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and kind of what attracted you to make this jump to action.
Um, Action is something I think that we're all sort of innately like wanting to do because we all, action resonates for us, in a place that it gets us excited, and it taps into a variety of emotions, So whereas drama is a specific thing and comedy is a specific thing, action can sort of live in both of those spaces, and it awakens, different vibrations inside of you, and it's also you look at it and you think, oh my God, it's so much fun until you're actually there and you're on the 15th take of running across snow that's like feeling like you're running in sand. And I was like, what are these life choices that I just made? Like, why? Why? You know what I don't ever need to be? An action star. No. But I did have days where I was questioning, like, Dad, just give me a monologue where I cry, please. uh, but I had such a good time because I realized, that we were doing something that was bigger than ourselves. And I think that's what the genre represents for me, that it's so much larger than life, but yet so specific, and there's a subtextual conversation beneath, the story that challenges you and charges you to think on a deeper level. That's what I love about the genre, is that here you have this idea of like man versus monster, and you think that the monster is the obvious creature that doesn't look like you, right? But then you actually look at the film and you're like, wait, who actually is the monster here? Is it actually the man? Or, and are the roles reversed, which is sort of, I think, the big conversation that we're even having in the world right now. Like, who's for us and who's against us? Who's the monster here in this picture? You know what I mean? Like, whose interest are we really fighting for here? And so that's what drew me to it.
Okay, giving us a message today.
And Sharonda, I'm sorry, we have time for one more question.
Okay. So Godzilla is considered a worldwide pop culture icon, and we've seen so many takes on this character since the 50s. What do you feel is specifically special about Michael's version, and do you believe audiences will be left pleased as they leave out the theater next weekend?
I absolutely do. That one of the major beautiful things about Michael's version is Michael himself. The heart that he has for Godzilla. Godzilla is a part of the fabric of his existence, his upbringing, his childhood, and even his adulthood. And it is embedded in every single frame of this movie. And that is what makes it so special, in a sentimental way, and what made the experience so beautiful, for me, and I think for many of us, when you sit down and you talk to Michael Dougherty and you realize, that Godzilla is a part of his own personal pulse, then you realize that he's approaching this story with tremendous care, for making sure that Godzilla purists are deeply satisfied, and for those people who are not Godzilla purists or Godzilla fans, they too will be deeply satisfied. It gives you drama, it gives you action, it gives you the monsters in a way that I don't think have been seen in a long time. And so I think they will be incredibly satisfied.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I can't wait for my audience to see you in Godzilla King of Monsters. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.